Hi everyone, and welcome to the soon-to-be formerly Freyala AMA. I'm Flu, this is Tail. Tail is the lead dev. I am the lead for biz dev and marketing. And I want to say that I appreciate all of you guys for tuning in to hear about the future of our project. I would like to say, however, that in the beginning, it's a lot of focus on some of our ecosystem partnerships and some things that we had to put a lot of emphasis on so that they could get out at a reasonable hour because of how long that we expected the AMA to go on. We are focusing on these ecosystem partnerships specifically in order to make sure that we have a very strong relationship with the core team at Harmony and make sure that we're hitting all of the metrics that they need us to hit. Thank you guys for your understanding, and I hope you enjoy.
My name is Outrageous Cat, coming to you from the East Coast of the United States. Amazingly excited to be here. We've been working real hard to get to this point, and we're very excited to be talking to you guys tonight. We've got a lot of good stuff in store, and I think you're going to find it interesting. I think you're going to find it rewarding, and I think we've got a lot of good stuff to come. So it is February 18th, at least here in the United States. C-Man is looking at his watch and going, man, it's almost lunchtime. Tonight, it's going to be at least Tail, Flu, myself, and I think Inertia is going to be joining us from a vehicle. Not sure how much he's going to be able to put in, but I know he's on, and hopefully we can get him to spend some time with us as well. I am going to act as more or less as the moderator as we go through this. We're missing Prozex. He was on the lineup, and unfortunately his grandmother passed a couple of days ago, so he will not be with us tonight. If you see him in your rounds, give him a hug. Give him a virtual hug. I hear noise from Denver.
Noises from Denver. That's what we want. So we're going to get started this way then, and we're just going to chill in the Discord with y'all, and y'all can record.
So as we're getting going, let's talk a little bit about where we've been and where we are. We all know, we're talking about the potential for war in the Ukraine. The market is down, and we've had our own challenges here at Freyala. Most of you are aware of the circumstances. We're not going to get bogged down in the details. We don't want to waste a lot of time on that. We want to talk more about positive progress and where we've been over the past couple of weeks. We think that it's, we've had a great opportunity to move forward. We have spent a lot of time over the past couple of weeks, not only catching up with some development, but also talking as a team about what our vision is and where we intend to go in the future. The XTC chat in the background, our progress chat has been blowing up on a daily basis. I check in many times a day and watch as the devs communicate back and forth and as the artists post up art and music, and it's really cool. Everybody's excited for this. Everybody's excited for the announcements we're going to be making tonight, and it's great that you all have participated in your questions by putting questions up into the AMA questions. Your feedback gives us energy and it gives us direction, and we're excited because the timing is awesome tonight.
Before we get into the rebranding of Freyala into the new name and everything, I'd like to introduce our friends from MAD NFT, which are going to be some of our ecosystem partners. And I'll let them do that themselves because they do a fantastic job of representing themselves.
Hey, cheers, buddy. Hey guys, listen, my name is Skin, and really grateful to be here with our fantastic new friends. In a nutshell, we've just about hit mainnet on Monday. We're a brand new NFT platform that's come to the Harmony space because we've been attracted by what's going on. As I mentioned, we've made some fabulous friends already. So I guess I should tell Chris. Should I just tell him a little bit of the story right now? Is that okay? Okay. I've been an artist for the last 40 years. I'm 57 years of age, and here's what happened to me. In my 20s, I tried to make it as an artist, and I failed to make enough money. I had a young family, and the pain of being being an artist, of not being able to make enough money, stuck with me all my life. So I had to give up on art, to go into business and make some money just to make sure you could feed the kids and bring up a young family, basically. But I always hated myself for failing, in that period of my life. Later in life, fast forward another 33 years or so, I bumped into my business partner, JP, at Christmas, and 1 year ago, and he said, hey, we should get into the NFT scene, because I've been painting big paintings for lots of celebrities for the last 40 years. And I said, look, I hate the digital space. I don't want anything to do with it, right? I don't want to know. And he said, look, I'll do all the digital stuff. You just carry on painting and it'll be fine. I didn't really trust the digital space, and I think that's something that everybody should take note of. There's most of my artist friends are very hesitant if you talk about their space. It's like talking Egyptian to them, But fortunately, I've got such a great business partner, JP. He said, look, it's going to be fine, right? So he digitized the work, created a little website, and we dropped our first NFTs back in April of last year. And I actually thought we'd sell about 5 NFTs, if I'm honest, right? We put 5 of my pieces out, JP digitized, sold 500 pieces, and made $50,000 in literally, a few hours. Just couldn't believe it. So through that summer, we actually reached out to a bunch of artist friends, and we really created an awful lot of success in the marketplace by showing artists that telling their story in the digital space was absolutely imperative in sharing with the audience that they're authentic artists on an authentic journey, and they've gone through a whole bunch of struggles, and just painting a clear picture so that the audience can appreciate what they were creating. Because people tend to buy the person more than they necessarily buy the art, right? And it was just an amazing explosion of creative energy. And we realized that we wanted to make a difference to the artistic community around the world. So the brand that we have is called MAD. MAD stands for Make a Difference. Now we've invested the money that we earned last summer into building a platform that we hope is going to serve artists all around the world. And we hope to make a considerable difference in the Harmony community by listening to the community and asking them, look, how can we improve? How can you make suggestions to us? Because we really don't have all the answers, guys. We just trying our best. I got Chris sitting next to me right now, and he's like a brain on legs, super intelligent human being. I'm completely intimidated as a creator sitting next to him, right? So I guess we're all reliant on each other, and as long as we're completely transparent about the fact that we haven't got it all worked out, and we're all trying our best, collectively, I think we'll make a real big difference. And I guess that's our journey. I'm happy to chat for any length of time, but I'm trying to keep it short and snappy for you guys. Yeah.
I did have a couple questions. First off, you talked about your journey here, and you talked about what MAD NFT stands for. What really is MAD NFT? What kind of platform is it, and what can you do with it?
Okay, thanks for that, Chris. So essentially, we wanted to give anybody that wants to come into this space a really effective shop window to represent themselves in this space. So we give them an opportunity to set up a profile where they can put a nice profile picture up. They can tell their little story of their journey in there. We ask them to put a show reel up as well, like a little video show to really engage the audience. We have an academy that teaches and trains them all about what we've learned so far on how to engage their audience. Because most of my artist friends, they've got no idea about marketing whatsoever. They love to paint, they love to create. Lots of them, like to disappear into their own little monk-like cocoon while they are creating. So whilst they're fabulously talented creators, they really struggle with communication skills. So what we hope is the platform is going to nurture people into help to take away some of their fears and say to them, listen, you just hang out in this community, we'll show you how you can represent yourself and then turn your physical creations or your digital creations into an income. So the MAD platform will allow them to create their NFTs, present their NFTs, and then put themselves in a position to participate within a community that everybody's helping each other. So I don't know if that answers your question. I can take it a step further as well. Obviously, the primary marketplace allows them to create the NFTs and sell their NFTs. And then the secondary marketplace, which is not there right now, but it's just a couple of weeks away. We're just developing that. The secondary marketplace then allows them to obviously sell their NFTs.
Yeah, that all sounds amazing. Yeah. Just had another question though. You're trying to get a lot of artists from outside of crypto within crypto. There's a lot of mystery surrounding crypto about the entire anonymity about it and the security about it. And how do you plan on curating the NFTs, and how do you plan on getting everyone from outside of crypto inside of crypto without breaching the anonymity of the buyers, for example?
The answer is us, right? We can't rely, do we want a centralized system or do we want a decentralized system? We can't expect a project standing up to do everything. That's the old paradigm that we're trying to get away from. The answer is, I walked into a shop earlier today and I saw art on the wall that an artist was trying to sell. Yeah. That artist has probably never even heard letters NFT put together all by themselves.
Yeah.
So if we can scoop that person up and say, hey, I want to help you. You thought you were going to sell that thing for $50 on the wall in that little shop that has 5 a day. We're going to put it online and we're going to sell it for $1,000. Now an NFT with a physical piece of art that you can roll up in a tube and send to that person, which opens up a whole level of ability, right? Now it could be, that NFT could be used for insurance purpose. It could be used by bougie people to hey, look what I got. Look at all my cool artwork I got here in my house. Show you right here, right? So there's so many uses for NFTs, and we, the community, to a degree, I think, are responsible for helping to bring them in. Now, I don't know if that's the answer you were looking for, but personally.
It both is the answer I was looking for, plus it also gives me another question. Because I was talking about curating, and how does that prevent me from going to OpenSea, getting a piece of artwork right there,
interrupt you for a second?
And just launching it on Harmony on MAD NFT and selling it as if it were my own?
Yeah.
That's one of the problems you have with decentralization.
Okay, yeah. So there's obviously a number of answers here. I want to get back to Olga's first point here, right? Which was when we first started on this journey, we reached out to a couple of artists who definitely didn't think that they could do anything other than sell their physical piece on a wall in a gallery or something. So we've got video interviews with artists where we say, look, if you can just trust us, we'll take you on a little journey here, and everything's going to be okay. So one of the things I think we're going to be pretty good at is sharing the testimonial of an artist, because we videotaped lots of these journeys, sharing the testimonial, and then as that testimonial goes out into the marketplace, physical artists go, oh, okay, if they can do it, we can do it too, right? So people often say, how are you going to reach out and grab other artists? We intend to do that through testimonials. We intend to do that one artist at a time, then telling their friends and their artistic community, so that there's a very authentic journey. So it's not like some commercial sales pitch or anything like that. You're just making a difference one person at a time, and then they tell their community. So that's the first thing. The other thing about the security, there are a number of protocols that are emerging right now. Harmony is actually working on their own protocol. I just confirmed that with them today, which stops people grabbing something on OpenSea, dropping it on our platform. So what we intend, dropping a forgery, that's what you're talking about, yeah, onto the platform. So what we are going to do is when artists come to our platform, they have an option of utilizing one of the protocols that we have in place for a very small fee, like 10 cents up to a maximum of $1. And what that does, it's a protocol that says, we need to just verify that the art that you're dropping on this platform is created by you. It's your art. So there are a number of stages that do that. Verifying policies, verifying reverse image search checks, all those type of things. And they all happen instantaneously, really quickly. It doesn't take long, right? And then if an artist chooses to do that, they then get a verification badge within our ecosystem. And anybody that's buying an NFT of that person, they know that it is definitely their work because they've gone through that curation, right? In addition to that, we also have a curation process that engages the community. So if you create an NFT on MAD NFT, that NFT will not be exposed to the public until you receive a certain amount of votes from the community itself. So there's a layer in community approval before the NFT becomes visible. It will actually physically sit there and will not have any visibility unless the community votes for it and says, hey, it's cool, right?
If you wouldn't mind explaining that, how do people vote on it if there's no visibility?
Okay, so because the people that are actually on the platform, is visible to them on the platform, but it's not visible to the world, to the public. So everybody that's actually on the platform, they get the opportunity to vote for them on the platform, but it's not visible to the world, not as the world is looking in. So it won't be
for sale. It won't be for sale.
Yeah, and Andrew can say it better than me, but it won't go up for sale. That's probably the best way I should have said it. Yeah, it's not going to go up for sale. It needs a certain amount of votes.
Yeah, I was just going to add. So yeah, you basically, when you create your account, that allows you to see projects under the upcoming drops section. And then there's a heart or a rocket ship, depending on how much you like it. There's a very low threshold. Once it's just to make sure you're real, verified. Basically, you've passed that step, but then like the community is going to help. It's a lot like what you said. We do it together, right?
Mm-hmm. So what are they doing how do they log into your site?
Technically, I guess you could, well, we KYC our creators, right?
Yeah, I was really looking forward to this. Rebrand to this point, right? No.
Now we get them part. Really have the expertise, which is gaming the system.
Yeah, this is where we start throwing bottles of beer around the room at each other. No, look, honest discussion. Yeah. So look, the intentions of somebody once told me this. If the intention is good, the outcome is generally good, right? So the intention is to engage the community, to add layers of security. Right. This is the intention, right? Will somebody try and maneuver their way around the system? You clever gaming guys, you definitely will, right? But hopefully, because we got clever gaming friends around us, they are going to show us and teach us how we can improve the service and the platform to stop you bastards from doing that, right?
So kind of like you said, I think there is no such thing as perfect security. If there's digital engagement, there are flaws, there are holes, somebody will find them. The best we can do is our absolute best, right? Yeah. And we have a great community of people who are white hat hackers that will hopefully find some inevitable flaws, and right? That's what crypto's all about, working together to become better. Yeah, there's scumbags out there and there's gaming bastards, but we're just keeping you on your toes, right?
I do like to continue on the entire security asset of MAD NFTs. Because you were talking about trying to get people inside of crypto. Yeah. But does that also mean that people have to buy crypto first before being able to use your marketplace or use your product? And if not, if you're able to use fiat and if you're able to just pay with your card, how do you plan on preventing them to be able to whitewash the money through the NFTs on your protocol?
Andrew?
I can go.
Yeah. Let's get impossible. Yeah. Thing like a nice, gentle, easy AMA before 8 balls of Stella.
So it kind of ties back to even our last point a little bit. We do have a fiat on-ramp. You've kind of alleged to it. So we accept credit card payments for our NFTs from our buyers, and that is a KYC process through the legal aspects. It just has to be. And so we haven't honestly, the intentions are good, kind of where we were coming from. We're going to watch for that stuff. Our systems architect, his background is in e-commerce, all web 2.0. So he knows I wish we had him here right now. He'd talk your ear off. He knows some tricks of the trade that we're probably not as tech savvy on to describe here and now. But
I
jump in, yeah.
Let me give you a little take on it, right? So when we started in this space, I mentioned earlier on, our friends were like, what are you talking about? You're talking Egyptian. I just want to come in, use my credit card, and I just want to buy something. I don't want to set up a crypto wallet. Are you kidding me? So we knew that if we wanted to go for mass adoption, we needed a fiat solution, right? So we worked with Mark, who's a super bright guy, and he said, look, we can do this, we can do that, and everything. So here's where we're at right now. You can come to our platform, you can log in, and you can create an account and all that sort of stuff, and then you can buy with your credit card, and that allows you to purchase an NFT, and you're going to get an email that says, here is your NFT, here's how to view your NFT. And if you want to redeem your NFT, you can hit this link and you can redeem your NFT and you can drop it into your crypto wallet that you set up at a later stage. In the meantime, we're going to engage them with academy videos and explain to them why the crypto space is cool, why they should set up a crypto wallet. And we know that that's going to take some time to nurture them and educate them if that helps.
I'm going to interrupt you, actually.
Oh, sorry, Flu. My bad.
And I want to point out Because
Can you
we
guys
probably
hear
have
me,
a lot
Flu?
of people that are very confused right now.
Flu, can you hear me?
came in and you were like, okay, this is the Freyala rebrand conversation. It's really about showing that what we are trying to do within the space is we're trying to build these relationships with these ecosystem partners within Harmony that are actually trying to grow and innovate within the space. So I'm starting out this entire thing, and I understand what I'm doing. I may not be good at it, but I understand it. And I'm starting out this entire thing by making sure to show you the quality of the people that we're working with. Do they have all the answers right here and right now? No. But the intent is there, and the intent is there to create a safe and secure space in order to allow for that fiat onboard, which for Harmony, as everyone knows, is a rarity, if not an impossibility currently.
Oh, yeah. I love it, man. I love it. Yeah. So I love how you just kind of stated where you guys are at, what you have. That's important, right? Management expectation. What about when I buy with my credit card? It automatically creates my wallet and funds me one. So if I want to sell one or sell it, I can. And on that note, is the marketplace itself gasless? So could somebody buy with a credit card, come in, and never step outside of your chose day in that sandbox?
Yeah, so look, if they want to come and just buy you with their credit card and not have anything set up whatsoever, they can. They have an email. So we call this Project Nan, right? We have grandmother, but they haven't got a clue. What can I say to you, honey? I have a credit card, right? Go Nan, it's okay, we'll get you one for free. No. So they want to grab their credit card and they want to buy it and they want to receive an email. And they get an email and they get a view file and they get their little redeem code, which they're probably never going to use, right? But maybe they've spent bucks on good about it, and that's it. And they'll never come in the. But we'll still say, hey, here's your grandson doing an academy. You can become the coolest nan in Wales if you get it, right. So we're trying to have that sort of interactive. If we're gonna really onboard people into this cool space, we've got to make it easy and make it fun and nurture people.
And that's exactly the perfect point for me to cut you off really hard here.
Cool.
Because onboarding new people into the space is exactly what Harmony is all about and exactly what Freyala is choosing to be from this point forward. So, and this name may seem a bit on the nose, right, Tail?
Yep.
A little bit. But Tail is going to tell us the name of used to be known as Freyala.
Well, I first kind of want to start with the road we're taking right now. What we've always wanted to be in the beginning was a community. That's how Freyala started. That's how our entire community started. With that community token, we wanted to create a Golden Goose project. One that we made ourselves, one that we are proud of to show people. That game is still in production. It's the CryptIDs and it's a 3D auto battler. The deadline for that, I'm sorry for that, but has been delayed for 2 months.
I think that's understandable.
Yeah,
In the situation.
the delaying the events that happened December and January. Yeah, so that game is still coming. We are still working on that game very hard, and we would love to show everybody more about the game in the coming months, in the coming weeks even. And we want to give a little bit more focus to apart from the Golden Goose project, we still want to be for the community, and we want to reach or breach out of our own community and go into the entire Harmony community. And that also means partnering with other projects, talking with other projects, helping out other projects, but also giving assets or even giving lines of codes to other projects so they can do what they otherwise couldn't have been. That also gives us a great opportunity to give the Freyala a different name. And that name really fits in how we are going to talk with other projects and how we are going to interact with other projects. And that name is GameFiCrossing. And that also means that we will cross with other projects and other projects will cross with ours. And what we now want to create, what we will create, is some sort of, I wouldn't say asset pack, but I would more like saying, framework. For example, I've got a lot of developer friends, and they all want to make projects. But like me, they're a little bit social awkward, and they don't know a lot of people. And I've been getting to know a lot of people in this space, but there are a lot of developers. Not anymore. But I've got a lot of developer friends outside of crypto that really want to go inside of crypto, but don't really know what kind of project they want. And a lot of people want to create games.
Send them to me. I have all sorts of ideas.
Yeah, but they do have ideas, but they don't have the funding to do it. They don't know the people to do it. And what we would love to create is, for example, for those developers, they want to create something, but they don't have the artist. Rather than finding the artist and funding the artist, we are giving the ability to reach into our lore, reach into our assets, reach into our 3D models, and they are able to use whatever they want with our code, with our art, with our lore, and really become open source. And I think if more projects were like that, more projects would have been intertwined with each other, and that would create a tighter community within the Harmony ecosystem. And there's no chain at the moment that is as tight as Harmony is. And Harmony can get way tighter than it is right now.
Oh, and we will. We will.
We will.
The community approach you're taking, Tail. I mean, we are two community signatories on a multi-chain wallet for a project for exactly that reason. I mean, I love where you're going. I hate the struggles you've had to go through to get here. There's a lot of stuff going on in the future. I know you guys lost part of your team. I know you know a lot of developers, but if we could throw it out there, because there's probably or possibly some developers out there talking right now, if you had one or two more skill sets on your team that would just really help you pop and move forward quickly, what would those two skill sets be?
Ooh, that's a tough question. Not tough because I don't know which skill sets we need, but tough as in, okay, what would we prioritize? And I think the biggest thing we need right now isn't developers. We have developers, but it's the biggest, I would even say, issue that our project currently has is that it's all just a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there, and we need them to be all connected, and we need them not just lore-wise, but also tech-wise and art-wise and community, everything connected. And I think someone with that kind of skill set, that would really, really help us.
So you're looking for kind of like a community manager that all of the devs talk to, that kind of understands enough about development to say, okay, well, hey, this part right over here is slacking on this project, and coordinate the devs amongst several projects with each other?
Yeah, maybe.
I would say that sort of core effort is already being built. I'd like to give out a shout out to Inertia and Outrageous Cat and all of the others that have helped with this, Prozex. I'm sure that you can name some.
Yeah, the crazy thing is there's about 30 people right now in Harmony or in the GameFiCrossing team working on the entire research project. And there's Blurry, there's Legoat, there's Limi, all work music, Flat, and there's Pencil working on the art, and got a blockchain, and Hope Slicer, and I am, and Kido, and a lot of more developers are working on the entire development part of the site. And the thing we're focusing on right now is we're not going to create new stuff for a while. We're going to expand on our existing. We've got the Freys, we've got the plots, we've got the CryptoPix, and we're not going to make just new things for CryptoPix, but we're going to have CryptoPix do stuff on plots. We're going to have plots be useful for the Freys. That really connects everything, and I think that will really help value project a lot more.
So like maybe the pigs go rooting and pooping on the plot, and they grow mushrooms, and the Freys eat mushrooms, and it gives them some sort of battle or something like that?
Well, there's actually something coming on the roadmap, and it's coming sooner than we've actually all expected it to be. The Frey Bosses are coming, which are a new set of NFTs. They are not solely purchasable, but they are also winnable. And you can fight the bosses with your Frey. And due to fighting the bosses and winning them, you're going to be able to mint those bosses.
Oh, wow.
For just the gas fee, which is what 2 cents, 1 cent.
All right, so
for an actual mint.
Can we pause the podcast real quick? I think I need to go on the decks. I've got a couple awesome projects here. That is not financial advice, by the way.
And the Frey Bosses will appear on your plots, and we're actually working on being able to use your plots to make it more attractive for the Frey Bosses. so that the Frey Bosses appear on your plot, and maybe you'll even get something out of it for the bosses coming on your plot.
Nice. So, Tails is speaking a lot about potential and things that might happen. And I'm going to shift the conversation again back to something that already has. And I'd like to speak to the MAD NFT gentleman about the absolutely incredible VR work that you guys have done. And how would you guys see, not necessarily GameFiCrossing, but other projects using the VR space in order to like really take the metaverse dream of Web 3.0 to the next level?
So I'll start us off with that one. I am lucky enough to help with onboarding all the musicians at MAD NFT. And so we have a couple of really big ones. We have a blues and jazz musician, and he just is amazing. He's on Twitter Spaces every Friday. And I was just talking to him earlier today about doing a live show in the metaverse that you guys have seen the preview of, for everyone to see, come and visit, and coordinate it with the launch of his NFT. In addition to that, we, am I allowed to say who we met with today for lunch? Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
We met with,
not
yet.
I'll cover a bunch of stuff.
We met with someone, a very famous athlete today, and she wants to do stuff in the metaverse. And so we're like thinking of all these cool ways of introducing motion capture. Basically, live events is kind of the direction we're really taking that space for now.
Yeah.
And jump in, yeah.
I'll throw the microphone over in a second. You can ask me a couple of questions by all means. But we all know that adding utility to the NFT experience is absolutely critical, right? So we knew that we needed a really cool metaverse gallery to start off with. We've now gone from having a metaverse gallery, which is right now is 7 stories. It's absolutely beautiful. You've seen snippets of it with the
I think the one that I did was like 3.
That's the that's the demo that we're showing off here at ETH Denver.
A demo. Ultimately, it's
When
going
can
to
I
be
land? So, no, I do have a question actually, because I started off this question very specifically aiming towards gaming, and we skewed towards music.
Yeah.
I do have a question about that though. How do you guys see the development of gaming within your metaverse? Like
it's a great point. So, for example, right now we've created the gallery, okay? But what you've not seen at the moment is at the rear of the gallery, as you walk through the nightclub where the artists are going to be playing and everything in the nightclub, there's a rear door that takes you into what's the word when you have a concert outside? My mind is gone. Do you know when you go to like Neighbourhoods?
The festivals?
Festival, there you go. That's the word I was looking for. So right now we're building an outdoor festival music area with stages and everything else, tents and everything else, so all the musicians can play there, right? Don't worry, I got the gaming question. So basically, through that illustration of what you're about to see in Harmony, and it is super cool, guys. It is super cool. What you're about to see is that from a gaming perspective, if they want to come and they want to interact with that level of metaverse, we can basically design whatever you guys want within that arena. So in the metaverse, what we intend to do is to display what's possible and then ask you guys, okay, right, what do you want us to create that is going to help the gaming community in general? How can we enhance this ecosystem?
So I think
does that answer it at all?
It does. So you're talking about customized spaces or customized worlds for each one of the types of gaming NFTs that exist, sort of thing. Any partnership that you guys have. For example, if I had my collection of wind Lambos, I could walk through like a warehouse and show my collection of Lambos off.
Exactly
kind of where I was going to go with that. Exactly.
Okay. What if I wanted to just go absolutely insane and I was like, okay, well, one day I want to be able to race my Lambo through like a 3D space. Is that even within the realm? I mean, you're a dev, right? Dev, do something.
Chris, have you seen the new metaverse we've created?
No, actually I haven't.
Okay. So you carry on, and you carry on chatting. Go ahead.
So,
go ahead. Yeah.
What if I wanted that up and running persistently in a 3D metaverse space as my room. Like I buy some land, I want that built so that people can just come hang out there with me.
I mean, for you, yes. As far as offering that to the public, I think we're still a little bit away from that. Basically, our VR team, we have at least 3 at a time working full time to build this kind of stuff. And so, for you, yes, like, and for our partnership projects, talking about gaming, we would love to like build some 3D assets for the NFTs you guys are putting out, so your players can come in, maybe have their private tavern that's based off of their NFTs that they own. They walk in, they see their bear rug, that's their color, they see their weapon rack that has their weapons on it, and that's where we want to go with it, definitely.
So Chris is going through a live demo right now.
I also had another question. I also had another question exactly about that. You were saying, okay, we can provide 3D models. What if we already have rigged, animated 3D models?
So we're working in Unity right now. I don't know if that helps. Yeah.
CryptIDs is built in Unity as well, so that helps a lot.
Yeah, and so what you're seeing now is hosted via the VR chat SDK. So you can log into VR chat right now. Let's get it out there actually. Search up Ethereum Denver Harmony. Make sure the community labs button is checked because we're under the community labs, and you guys can jump in, visit. We've had visitors all week throughout ETH Denver, and that's like our demo gallery. Like Skin was saying, we want 7 stories. That one's 3 stories, and but it's just to show it off, kind of. And it's the Harmony VR Lounge.
So if we already had the models and we just straight up sent them to you, we could arrange something, for example, Harmon's walking around in a room and me actually being able to see the monster that I fight with in my game, see you walk around in the room.
Absolutely, and I think, to be honest, we would start basic, right? Like we would have a featured room. Maybe everyone can walk in and it's just like a famous scene from the lore or something, a famous location, right? Tell me a little bit, maybe somewhere we would build.
Well, no, I'm on the next one. We kind of talked with DeFi a little bit about DeFi Kingdoms, about how cool it would be to build out like a tavern, for example. That's a good gaming example, right? So you recognize what
yes,
in front of
yes.
you.
So everybody can come hang out in the tavern, whatever game it is, you know what I mean? And that's just kind of our first idea. But it could build into that something bigger, right? Build into where we're maybe verifying policies, verifying NFTs and wallet, and then you get a custom visual display. I mean, we're not doing that at this very moment, but that's where we're heading with it all. And so, partnership.
I'm thinking use case here. So DeFi Kingdoms is fun. It's cool. There's lots of geeks and nerds in this space, and we do last weekend for the first time, Flu invited me over. We had like a Degens and Dragons. So it was set in Serendale inside the game, and we're role playing, having a little Dungeons and Dragons class. Right? So that's where I'm going. So I want to live stream from the tavern.
From him.
No, can we play next time? Can we like jump in on Zoom or something?
Bro, build the tavern, put yourself on the whitelist. Yeah.
Okay.
So we can have a special game on we can have a special game on Sunday. As a matter of fact, Cardonis is right out here, and he'll DM for us. Easy.
Beautiful.
So look, let me just add another little layer dimension, which is community driven, right? When this whole space starts building out, the community are going to dictate who gets the most visibility. So let's say the VIP floor is up on the top, right? Traditionally in this space, rich people get up there and all that sort of stuff. No, the way this is going to work is the community are going to decide who's the most popular artist and who are the people that deserve to get the biggest priority, and they'll just drive them up the scale of visibility. By the way, we have nightclubs in there, we have a cocktail bar, we can have a zip wire off the top of the building going straight down to the yacht. So we have a cocktail party on the yacht. I was in this space the other day and a stick of butter was chasing me around. Now, bear in mind, I'm a dinosaur, right? I don't really understand all this shit, right? But I'm doing it, okay? I'm going with the flow, right? My kids think they've got the cool dad. And here's what happened. I'm in Wales. Wales is a really gentle little place. And I'm in my VR gallery and I'm happy and I'm peaceful and I'm looking at the paintings and thinking, wow, this is cool. Then all of a sudden a stick of butter starts chasing me and it's freaking me out, right? And I'm going, what is going on? And then the stick of butter actually speaks to me. And I'm like, this is now ridiculous, right? And then the stick of butter go, that voice is really familiar. And I don't know much about this space. You've got to appreciate my naivety. And it was Andrew. He's in Colorado, and he's stalking me in my own freaking gallery, right? I mean, it fried my brain. And then I don't realize why I can only see his feet. And it's because they put me in there as a little midget avatar. So I got these giant shoes. I'm standing in the lift, teleporting to the next level, and I'm next to this really intimidating stick of butter. This place is so freaky. But I loved it. Imagine in the future, people that have bought NFTs. But the gallery recognizes, looks at their wallet, lets them in to an exclusive space where they can interact with their favorite artist, their favorite musician, or their favorite gamification scenario, right? Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be cool. It's going to be super cool.
Epic. Yeah. All right, awesome. So Tail, can we please, and I'm begging you for this, please have as one of the bosses a giant stick of butter.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Well, I do think we really have to look really cute at Splat for that.
Yeah.
But I think we can make
Splat,
it.
please.
I think we can make it.
Right. All right, awesome. So I think that kind of, and let me address something really important, is that this right here is exactly what MAD NFT wants, at least from what I can see, is that we are a group of friends and colleagues that are sitting around a table and saying what our dreams are.
Absolutely.
And they want to help us build those. And GameFiCrossing is very much the same. We want to help not only Tail build his dream and Splat build his dream, and everyone else that we're associated with build their dreams. But we want to be able to help everyone else, regardless of their assets or skill sets, build their dreams as well.
And I also think that it fits really well because you guys want to create a system where you can help artists and where you can help those trying to create things.
Creators.
And we are really trying to niche in one of those sections and really niche into the GameFi variant of the artist. As in artists not just being the drawers but also being the developers and also being the 3D modelers. If we can just make a framework for them to create stuff and test them and make them playable with just one portion of the project, then I think we can make an amazing community with everybody helping each other and just growing all the projects all together.
Chris, stay with me on this, right? Because one of the visions for this space for me, bear in mind now I'm a proper dinosaur, right? I mean, the guys out there arm wrestled me into this space. But they made me watch a movie called Ready Player One.
Yes!
Right? And I'm telling you, right? I watched that movie and I'm like, oh my God, right? So if you want to know where we are trying to go as a vision, Ready Player One is probably a good movie to go and watch, where gamification meets artists, meets personal social interaction, all sorts of stuff. That's kind of the vision that we have for the VR space, Ready Player One.
And I actually think that our plots, for example, would fit in perfectly with that, because the end game for our plots would be that it would be a separate system for every ball owner. We want to have an entire list of things you can do with it, not just create more tokens or not just upgrade it to a technical plot, but really have an entire list of things you can do with it, and you can set them for example one thing per plot. But if you want to do something else, you first have to lower some attributes like crime, or because if you're going to make an art gallery, you want a low crime attribute, and so you're specifically going to make the plots for that what you want to have. And with the VR system that they are creating, I think that only expands on the abilities that we can do with our plots, because we can have one of those plots actually be visible through their system. And then have the monsters that you collect through our game actually have them walk around there. So you can, all the monsters, all the Harmons that you've collected in the game, you can actually see them walking around, or see your crypto walking around on your own plot.
Ooh, I just got a fun visual. You guys have a plot with them just kind of hanging around, and a portal at the back end, which is a hyperlink directly into the game. So they can go from VR into just like a web view and doing your game. And if I could real quick, I just wanted to say something. Thank you for coming, Tail, and kind of doxing yourself, Chris. And to those of you just listening on Discord, there is video. His face will be out there. He's going the extra mile to prove that he is here with the community member. He's not part of the mess that happened in the past. He does want to move forward and build with us as a community. So, I don't know. You've won me over, man. Kudos.
Glad to hear.
And all I was going to say is that vision with like them walking around and then having a link straight into the game, that's the immediate reality we can do.
Yes.
You know, start working on after this talk. So
that's really amazing to hear, because we've already started connecting with other projects. You can actually stake a DFK hero in our plot. It currently doesn't do very much yet, because this is all preparation for when the plot rates will come.
Right now it increases the defense mostly, right?
Yeah, right now it increases the defense, and defense decreases the crime, effectively. But you are going to be able to collect resources on your plot, and you will be able to build buildings on your plot in order to either defend yourself from other plots that might attack you, or be able to raid other plots to get their resources instead. We are also, after the system has come live, we are also going to add in not a guild system, but more like a neighborhood system. Our plots are divided in over 20 neighborhoods, and when they were minted, you could select a neighborhood and you could select a specific plot you wanted to buy. So your actual plot has neighbors, but the entire neighborhood can also band together to effectively fight or raid another neighborhood. And that will create a lot of possibilities for either tournaments or you can name it really. And if we can visualize those plots in 3D, I think that the entire rating system will get a lot more personality, a lot more character. It's not like you have to rate them in 3D specifically, but if you can really almost touch your plot, you get attached to your plot, and you get attached to everything you build on it, you get attached to everything that walks around on it. You're going to really want to protect your plot from other raiders.
So let me stay with you on that theme, right? So in the gallery that we currently have, if you had one of your NFTs, let's say you had a picture of one of your guys from your plot in the gallery, there'd be a teleport link behind that picture where you can go jump straight into your plot and into your game. So I think one of the things, the interaction of all of us working together, which I think is really cool, is you can jump in and out of different people's projects just through a little teleport window.
Yes.
We already have that, and I think that's a really cool way of jumping. If you're in an art gallery, for example, with us, and you're thinking, I want to jump into a few different communities here, we'll just drop a teleport right behind the picture and you just jump straight into the universe you want to go to. Easy.
Oh, awesome. Now what I want to do real quick is I actually want to pass over to Kat in the Discord to do a little bit more of the giveaways and things that we promised.
So we got a bunch of questions. We do have some prizes to give out. We've got a raffle to do. One thing I think is important to mention is the name of the world. We've talked about rebranding the GameFiCrossing and how important that is. I know we've talked about the importance of the energy behind GameFiCrossing and the partnerships and the relationships, which is absolutely huge. but people are asking also about, what's going on with Freyala. Freyala does not exist anymore. The world is now called Zangia. And the concept behind that is that Zangia is a moving planet. If you think of the term Pangea, it's the supercontinent that existed hundreds of millions of years ago. And the continents have spread out. And that's pretty much how this project is going. We've got bits and pieces that are moving and shifting, and we're taking advantage of the energy that is constantly there. So, we've got a lot of plans and people have a lot of questions, but I think one of the things we need to recognize is that as time goes by, things will continue to get better. More and more interaction, more and more relationships, more and more abilities that will continue to fly. I know that a lot of people are curious about some of the questions that were posted in the AMA. We've talked about the rebranding and the new names. I'm going to skip by some of these slides. I do want to talk about the plans for tokenomics. That's been a big focus of attention that if you guys can address real quick for us.
Yeah, sure. Well, the first thing I want to say about the Multisig, there are 7 of us in the Multisig right now, of which 3 of them are validators. One of them is Gaines, one of them is Flu, and one of them is me. However, what we did address is we need more people in the Multisig that are not inside our project. The Multisig right now, I've got Ogre right here picking up his hand already because he would love to be a Multisig. But the initial reason we made the Multisig in haste was because of all that happened, and now we are ready to reach out to other people outside of our own community, outside of our own project, to be one of our Multisig signatures to make it even safer than it already is. And I want to address another question I see right here. That's about the insane amount, I wouldn't even say insane amount, it's about the amount of tokens that Zangia and GameFiCrossing currently has. We've got the Saya, we've got the Yin, we've got the Yang, we've got the coins, and there's still one token coming, and that token will be the emission token that's used to play, to pay, and to do anything in the cryptid world. First off, I do want to tell you we are planning on phasing out both Yin and Yang. The lore will back the phasing out. You will be able to buy back Saya or another token with your Yin and Yang. Buying Yin and Yang right now won't be a smart choice, and also wouldn't be beneficial for you because we've already made the ratio set in stone. Snapshots. Yeah, we've already made the snapshot. So that will bring us back to 3 tokens in total, which in my opinion is more than fine. We've got the Zaya token, that's the main token that you will use in the entire world. You will use it as your governance, you will use it in the Zangia world, you will use it as maybe even voting. The coins you will use for your picks and everything that surrounds the crypto picks. And the yet to announce token that we will announce in the coming months, they will be used for cryptids, especially for cryptids, for selling and buying cryptids. The reason we are making another token is because we want to be able to not really regulate the emissions, but we want to create dynamic emissions so that if the Zaya price goes up 10 times, 20 times, maybe even 100-fold, then newcomers won't be able to join Freyala, or, Zangia. It's still a little bit rusty in me, but we'll get that.
All in good time, right?
So that means we can make the emissions dynamic, and that also means that the whales will be less whalier, and the newcomers will get an easier step into the game. Because the most projects that do play to earn and eventually become successful, they all have one problem in common. And that's that you need hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars to be able to start playing the game. and we really want to beat that system. And we have created a system with a dynamic emission system that will defeat that problem.
Nice. That's always great to hear, because tokenomics are incredibly important. They can make or break a project. The best graphics, the best gameplay, the best community, the best team can all be destroyed by a handful of whales and bad tokenomics.
Yeah, and
we've all seen it too many times.
There's one big problem that most projects have with tokenomics, and that's that tokenomics aren't a set in stone thing. They aren't something that always work. Some tokenomics work for small cap projects, but other tokenomics would maybe work for large or maybe even the top 100 tokens. And that's why a dynamic emission system will give us, or the DAO, the ability to not adjust, but really change the step-in period for the new users. And it will be all automatically through an algorithm that's being run by the emission systems.
So there's another good question on here. Are there any plans to start your own exchange? Yep. Sorry, you moved past that one, I guess.
Well, we've been talking about it a lot, and I honestly believe I really do want an exchange, sure. Yeah, I really want it because it really helps building up your own ecosystem, but it also destroys the Harmony ecosystem if all projects will start having their own exchange, because that will divide liquidity and it will divide the users. So I am a firm believer of having less decentralized exchanges, but more decentralized exchanges working with other projects rather than just sitting down yourselves selling their own token.
I know we're not there yet, but I will be a very happy man the day we figure out how to do chain-wide liquidity, so that none of the projects have their own pools. Everybody pools into the chain local pools, and then the games tap into those. They create the farming token, the reward token for pairing theirs with whatever. But in my mind, I'm 100% with you. Like, I'm glad that you said that, because selfishly, most projects want an exchange, because there's a decent amount of fee money to be collected off the back end.
Not just free money, it makes everything a lot easier, but it also makes everything a lot greedier and a lot harder for the other users.
Right, and so I mean, it's much better, like you said, to save that and have a few large pools than dozens of really tiny pools, because as much as people don't like whales, they move in and out of projects and they can help promote it, help bring other people in. Yeah. Whales know whales, right? So if you have a bunch of little tiny pools, a whale can't get in without significantly moving the price, and they're not going to.
Yeah.
And that's just one aspect, right? I mean, that's not necessarily the reason you shouldn't be doing it. Screw the whales. They are not the most important part of our ecosystem at all. And the people are. And they're just one small part.
Not having an exchange doesn't mean that you won't be able to swap the token within our own ecosystem. Because we can still create a front end for example, the DeFi Kingdom's backend. Mm-hmm. And we can still create a front end for example, the ViberSwap backend. So what we will create, and we have already discussed this and we have already thought about this, we will create a front end swap within our own world that will connect with DeFi Kingdom's backend. So you will just swap with the DeFi Kingdom's exchange, but you will get the accessibility of having your own exchange. Mm-hmm. I think effectively that's going to be what the users want when they say, I want to be able to swap Saya easily.
I love it. I love it. That is the important part, being able to move in and out easily, liquidity. People get scared when they feel like they're locked into something.
It really is. There's a couple of questions more here. Will plots have an influence on obtaining certain harmons, such as fel divine harmons? There haven't been any discussions about being able to obtain certain harmons, because we've been discussing about being able to obtain harmons within the game. But yes, we will need to be able to get the initial harmons within people's wallets, and we need to be able for people to get their initial harmons. So I can honestly say that it will be something that we will be discussing, and it will be something that I will be thinking about, but I can't make any promises right now, right here.
Always was.
I can make one other promise about the plots, however, and it's the follow-up question: will it be possible to emit the yet to announce tokens with the plots? Yes, you will be able to emit the yet to announce token about the same way you're emitting the Zaya token from within the plots right now. So you can stake your NFTs, and that way you can up the emissions grade, and you can use your plot for specific reasons, such as emitting a specific token. I'm just going to continue with the questions right now, because there are quite a few. Oh, Kat wanted to say something?
Yeah, real quick. And I want to thank Chetja and Kobovici and Radishin for the questions. We've got a few more people that have participated in this as well. I think we've got 5 or 6 individuals that contributed questions that made it here, and each one of them will be getting 500 XYA. We'll catch up with you guys after the AMA and get your addresses and everything, and we'll get you paid for that. Before we move on to the next slide, what I'd like to do, Tail, is award the first raffle prize to Bardo Game. Bardo Game.
Congratulations.
And we will get you an NFT. And then I'll move on to the next slide.
Nice. So I've got a couple of questions right here, especially for the airdrops, and I really want to tell of how we do our airdrops and how we do our reflections.
Do you know which slide that's on? So we can pull it up so they can see it.
I've got it right here, and it's the middle question.
Okay.
I want to hit in that real quick because our airdrops aren't going to specific wallets. Our airdrops are going to your NFTs. That also means that if you stake your NFT in, for example, your plot, yes, your NFT will get removed from your wallet and be sent into the contract, but it's not you that gets the airdrop, it's the Frey that gets the airdrop. And the owner of the Frey will be the one being able to claim that NFT. So when you then take out your NFT from the plot again, you will still be able to claim that airdrop. And that's the same way that the reflections of the marketplace for the tokens go as well. The Freys actually are the ones getting the reflections, and the owners of the Freys are the ones being able to claim them. So if you sell a Frey or if you buy a Frey that has a lot of reflections, that will effectively also raise the floor of that Frey. Will upgradable attributes be introduced to the Frey? Currently, yes, luck are the ones that allocate the attributes. As of now, we have no specific plans of making the Freys upgradable because we've been really focusing on the upgradability of the plots. And for the forthcoming future, we will also keep staying on focusing on the upgradability for the plots. We want to really expand those plots, and we really want to make them usable for really anything you use in Sanjaya. We want to be able to have your plots have a usage for your pigs, have for the Frey. So if you upgrade your plots, you also upgrade all of the other things you have. And when we're past the plots, then we would love to see what we can do in terms of upgradability. But again, I cannot promise anything. But I do love the idea.
Yeah. I love you just kind of telling us where you want to go. Granted, none of it is alpha, none of it is guaranteed, but it's your vision, right?
Yeah.
I mean, as a community member, I love hearing that. It may not turn out exactly to be that way, but hearing you clearly state that this isn't promised, it's not happening right now, but it's where you want to go and understanding kind of the roadmap in your head.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And
Thank you for sharing that.
it's also the thing that we haven't thought of everything. And it's not like we have the solution to everything. But if someone else comes with an idea and we really, really like that idea, then yeah, we want to implement it. But I cannot promise anything for that right now. I also see another question right here. Will breeding be introduced in Frey's as well? Well, really, DFK really did get you horny, didn't you? Well, this might be a little bit... okay, the Freys will not be breedable, but the crypto pigs will. And no, you're not going to breed your crypto pigs with your Frey, because I've seen that question coming along quite a few already.
That's just gross.
But you will be able to breed with your pigs. The only crazy thing about breeding a crypto pig is that it's not a crypto pig that you'll get in return. It's something else. But we'll see that in due time.
Dun, dun,
Another question here about items and resources. We did talk about this previously, and I do want to give a clear answer about this. Yes, you will be able to get resources with your plots. Will they also be sellable? Will they also be obtainable through other things? I cannot promise. But you will be able to get resources, you will be able to use resources, and you will be able to upgrade your plots with those resources. And with upgrading your plots comes upgrading the entirety of your wallet. Are there any plans to make the game more accessible to people who don't have the funds or don't want to spend? Well, I'm glad we discussed about the entire dynamic emissions, because getting a question like this really shows how important it is to focus on not just what the price is right now, but what price will be and should be. And we really want to make sure that newcomers, beginners, or even people that aren't as wealthy as others still get the same playability and still get the same enjoyment that others get.
Super important.
Yeah, and we've also always said that we currently have a 2,500 limit on the plots. Yes, we are able to upgrade the supply, and no, we won't upgrade the supply every week. We will upgrade the supply when there's more requests than there is the deniability of it. But that also means that we need at least 2,500 people to vote yes, because everybody with a plot already will obviously vote no. But if we have more people requesting plots than we have plots, that also means that it wouldn't affect the price of the existing plots, because there's such a demand for them that it's okay.
Yeah, so I love that. So you're basically saying you're going to allow the supply and demand. We have to wait for the community to get large enough, the interest to grow, so that adding more plots isn't just a money grab. It's an extension, right? We have to wait for that demand to get there, and then we can expand the supply.
Yes, and we are currently talking about ways of obtaining those plots. Sure, we can give the ability to mint another plot, but then would we give the mint of the current floor? Or would we give the original mint? Well, the original mint is like $20. That would also mean that those plots would be instantly flipped, because they pay $25 and it's suddenly worth $1,000. So that's not right. But giving it a $1,000 floor and a mint also creates the entire accessibility to people who don't have the funds. So maybe we have to think about other ways to obtain plots, other ways to obtain Freys rather than just money.
So now you're going into my world, and I love that. Just creative ways to solve those problems. So maybe the new plots aren't as valuable as the existing plots, right? So we've got some really high scores for some of these things, like 8s and 9s and stuff. Maybe the new ones, they cap out at like 3.
Maybe they even miss an attribute.
Right, they may want to have 0, and then they're far less expensive, and maybe there's even a way inside the game to where if you grind and hustle and really push in the ecosystem and bring value to the game, now all of a sudden you've got more of these little plots, and eventually you hit a threshold where you've got enough of them and you can combine them into a larger
Exactly.
full-size plot. So you got kind of like that fractionalized NFT going on.
Awesome, guys.
And
Move on to the next slide, but before we move on to the next slide, want to mention that Lei Sensei has won the next NFT.
yes,
Hey!
nice. And before we go to the next question, I actually wanted to give an answer to another question I found in the question list, and that really hits on the accessible to other people, and that's about lending and borrowing phrase. It is something we have talked about a lot, and it is something we are planning to create. It is something we didn't start on yet, so it won't be in the next month. But I think lending and borrowing phrase will really get the ball rolling for the accessibility for people who don't have the funds or don't want to spend too much money on having a Frey, but do want to have the playability of the game. There's another question here about the world map. There are a lot of plans for the new world map. We are rebuilding the world map. We are giving it a completely new color scheme. Currently the world map will be in 2D, but now that we've created a partnership, or at least the connections with MAD NFTs, who knows what can happen. We can still create that world in 3D and have everybody connect in the world with 3D through MAD NFTs. I see a very important question here, and that's about the addition of the contracts. Are there any plans to audit the contracts? Yes, there are plans to audit the contracts. We have also already been auditing a lot of contracts, but some of the contracts needed edits for the audit to be approved, so that did delay the approval of the audits. It's nothing serious, but it is something I want to be transparent about, and we are working on them, and they are being audited. And the casino will eventually return. We cannot give a date for this. We first want to recreate the vision that we always had in mind before we continue going back to the casino. So we really first want to expand on the plots, we want to expand on the phrase, and we want to create everything that we always promised to create before going back to something as valuable and as sensitive as the casino is.
Awesome.
In the next frame, we're going to talk about the team and creatives. And there's one question here, and that's the current team size of GameFiCrossing. And that's both a hard and an easy question to answer, because we currently have 30 people working at GameFiCrossing through mods and through developers and through artists, but we are also very actively busy in getting new team members and getting new developers and more artists. So the current team is actually growing as we speak. So yes, right now it's 30, but maybe tomorrow is 31, maybe next week is 35, who knows. But we are really expanding our team, and we are really going to create sections within the team that we have people working for the phrase, working for the plots, and that we can give continuous updates to every section of the world.
Alright, and just as a side note for everyone listening in the general chat, we do apologize for spending so much time at the beginning on like kind of the partnership and everything sort of side. However, that group had to be out of here by a certain time, and so we were trying to, kind of meet their needs. That being said, I'm going to be posting this on YouTube later. And yeah, I know you guys were getting a little bit frustrated. Not a little bit either. But I'm going to be posting a video later, and I'm going to be properly tagging it for the different topics that we're covering, so that you'll be able to easily click through and use the timestamps to be able to say, and on YouTube, and that you'll be able to click through and actually see the answers to the questions that Tail has been answering. Because as we all know, Tail is the real hero here. Let's be clear.
And there's one thing I do want to add to what Flu said about the initial talk with MAD NFTs. And we did actually answer a couple of the questions that we had through the discussion that we had with MAD NFTs. For example, what the story is about his line, about the name, and what the vision is for Senseiya in terms of the lore. We really want to create an intertwined connection between all the projects within the same chain. And I really think that creating a good partnership and creating good connections with as many solid projects as we can, and intertwining with their lore in terms of our lore, I really think that will happen, that will help not just our project but the entire chain as well.
Absolutely. And it's really crucial that we have these sort of partnerships with other ones, like other projects like When Lambo and Dingoes and Crypto Pigs, and any number, just Blurry himself as an artist, and Goat as an artist. And so again, just wanted to apologize for the extreme sort of focus in the beginning on that.
There's one more question that I found in the question list that I really want to answer as well. There was this question about Harmony funding and the Harmony grants, and what did we do with it, how did it end up, and we initially requested for a Harmony investment, and that Harmony investment entailed that we needed to find a lead investor elsewhere, and that we would have to connect with Harmony for them to be the follow-up investor for that lead investor. However, that lead investor did request quite a few things for us to change, and they kind of wanted to lead the narrative of the project, and we didn't feel comfortable of giving out the narrative of our project to other investors. And I thought, okay, that will help us short term, but that won't help us long term. I do want to tell that we have been talking with Harmony about possible grants and possible investments regarding our rebrand, and we will get back to that once that is all settled, because I do not want to give any information before that is completely settled and completely set with.
I do though, but I won't, because I'm going to be good. However, I will say that there's a bunch of different types of Harmony involvement, and I think that by working with Harmony partners and with Harmony deeply involved, that I would like to get Harmony core involved with GameFiCrossing on the deepest level available, and that's all I'll point out.
And then I would like to get the chat back over to Kat. Kat, can you maybe tell us a little bit about the project timeline that we're doing with the frame that you've got open?
Absolutely. As we've been talking through this, and over the past couple of weeks, we have been working furiously. We've got some key management structure going into place. We've been building these rebranding documents and the logos and the colors and whatnot. Splat's been doing a really fabulous job with that. Curious One is building the ClickUp. March, I think, is going to be heavy into the rebranding, updating the website, the world site, getting the maps updated. Bosses will be coming in March. April, we're looking at the ability to race pigs, which is cool. That should be interesting. I've watched the devs in the background talk about how that will work from a mechanical perspective. That's some good stuff. May, some additional improvements to plots and staking, the ability to put structures on plots, buying building materials. Some updates to staking. Plot raids should become a thing in May, where we will be able to either have individual plots go after each other, or you could have your neighborhood gang up on your friends. So that should be some interesting gameplay. And again, watching the devs build this stuff is pretty cool.
Hey, Kat.
Yes.
Would you describe the situation as that games are coming, which will help us?
in terms of how the game functionality?
No, it was a joke, but it's okay.
Okay.
I want to thank everyone for their patience.
Before you close it down,
I'm not going to close it down yet. I'm not actually.
You got another NFT to give away.
We do. However, and I want to give you that one. I want to encourage people, though, to ask any questions that they've come up with as we've been talking in the general real quick, just so that we can address some of those and reward the people who have been chilling here and maybe give out some more XYA after you give out that NFT.
Awesome. So our third winner for the night, a pig NFT, is Rick, number 6100.
Yes! Congratulations!
Okay, will there be phrase racing? This is the most important question of all.
Will there be phrase racing?
Yeah, will there be phrase racing?
There will be crypto pigs racing. Does that count?
Yeah, I think so. Can you ride your crypto pig as a Frey?
Ooh, I really want to do that.
Yeah, I know. Let's do it.
Ooh.
Dev, do something.
During the race.
During the race, yes.
We can do that. Let's do that. Are we breeding pigs again? What do you mean again?
Oh, will we be able to use the Treasury funds in the future?
Yes, you will.
You can use the Treasury funds now to upgrade
Yeah, you
your
can
plot.
use the Treasury funds right now to upgrade your plot, but you will also be able to use your Treasury funds to construct your buildings and get more resources.
So, and Millions, yes, we are really going to get a Butter Boss. We have to be really nice to Splat, though. So if everyone could please tag Splat and say Butter Boss, please, that would very much help. Also, I'd like to go ahead and say the All Henry. Will there be an ability to trade in the marketplace, like put up what you want to trade, and people can put up a combo or NFT of sorts to trade? So I think that what you're talking about is putting up either money as a trade or money with a combination of an NFT, and that's a really good idea. And I'm sure that they'll be looking into that from the dev team. And then publish project plan for each stream of development. Not this time, and we don't want to publish one too early and then blow past timelines, because we've already done that. We want to make sure that we're remaining very, very open and transparent. However, I would say that this is just the beginning of our sort of updates. I'm going to go ahead and pass it back to Tail. I think he has some thoughts on that and how we want to make sure to prevent any sort of hurt feelings on timelines or when.
Well, actually, being able to not disappoint people about the timelines and not being able to disappoint anyone about when everything is coming is something that's coming with a new website. We are launching a new website. The website will have an interactive roadmap where you can see what will launch and when it will launch and what you can do with it. The roadmap will be more of a little wiki within every subsection than just a line of things that we're going to do. So we're really going in depth of what we're going to do with it and how you can interact with the update that we're going to do. I really want to say that next month is going to be about the rebranding. We're going to get a new world, we're going to get a new website, we're going to redo our socials, and we're really going to bring out the new brand over to the public. And with the new bosses coming and arriving in a new world, then who knows what's going to happen. And the month after that will really be back about the updates. We'll really go back updating the bosses, we'll be updating the plots, we'll be updating Reginald, as you all know. And after that, well, the Age of Harmons is coming, and we really want to prepare everything for the Age of Harmons, and we really want to prepare everyone to play the game that we're going to put out, and it's still coming.
I saw one question earlier about what the gameplay will look like for CryptIDs. So can you explain what the general game setup would be for a game of CryptIDs?
Yeah, sure. Well, CryptIDs is an auto battler, and an auto battler, what it effectively means is you set up a set of monsters on your side, and the enemy sets a set of monsters on his side, and he does it strategically, so he knows which monster will arrive at the enemy first. So maybe you want to have a speedy monster heading to the enemy first with a more powerful enemy that has a ranged attack behind him, so that the speedy monster gets the tank. And how the game effectively works is when I have set 4 or 5 of my Harmons on a match, and I wait, for example, for Flu to set his as well, we both press ready, and the game effectively plays itself. The game plays itself based on the places that you've put your Harmons and based on the attributes that your Harmons have. And the outcome of that will decide the winner, and the winner will get at least the Zaya from the mission that he published, but maybe even a Harmon, or maybe even a Frey that the enemy has put up for stake. So if I want to battle Flu, and I say, I want your Frey, I can give my Frey for it, but I do really want to fight for it. I can set in my Frey, and he sets in his Frey. And if I win not just the Zaya that I get from the missions, but I also win his Frey. Will there be condolence prizes for losers in Harmon medals? Please do not do a DeFi in profile picture. Well, there will be condolence prizes for the losers in Harmon battles, but they will not be as high and they will not be as frequent as the winners get them. Will the Harmons be able to level and evolve? Yes, we've got multiple ranges of Harmons. Currently we're creating 3 evolves of each Harmon, with some Harmons also having a legendary version.
Millions. And then Master Roshi as well. And then let me pick out another one real quick.
Master Roshi.
Master Yoshi.
Oh, Roshi.
Yeah. And then KKR for laughing at the fact that it was raining without actually begging for rain, which I can always appreciate.
I can always appreciate that.
Yeah. And yes, Tasca, I did pay you for being a dick. The last person to FUD me in the Win Lambo Discord, I think I gave them a Lambo, so that's just how I go. That's how I roll. Alright, I think we're coming to the end here. Tail, did you have anything else that you wanted to say?
Well, the only thing I really wanted to say is that I really appreciate everyone that is here right now, and I really appreciate everyone that has stuck with us, and we will not disappoint you, and we will work really, really hard into getting this all on track. And we are really going for it. We haven't been this motivated in, well, maybe even forever.
Yeah, I would say that we have. I don't want to talk badly about anyone. I would just say that currently we have a whole lot of people that are very invested in the project, not just financially, but emotionally. And we all want to see Zaya succeed, and we all want to see GameFiCrossing succeed. And I believe that that is the most important thing in the world right now. All right. Kat, did you have anything before we go?
No, this has been awesome, guys. Again, thank you everybody for your patience. I think it was really important to hear from MAD NFT. I can say that I'm already signed up for them. I can't wait till they hit the streets, and I'm going to move some of my art over. So that's exciting. We've got big things in the works, and there are people working literally 24/7 on this, guys. If you get frustrated, just ping us and let us know what's going on, because I can guarantee you we are working in the background and we're trying to be as upfront on this as we possibly can. Tail, thank you for flying around the world to come to Denver just to do this AMA.
Yeah,
such a big trip for you, but awesome job putting this together, bringing new team members in, and everybody, thank you all so much for your participation tonight, and keep pinging.
Yeah, and everybody, thank you, and it's lovely to be here, and I'm really glad that I've seen and I've met these people one-on-one, and it really gives back a lot of trust to not just us as a team, but as to the community as well, because now we actually know each other, and now we actually know how we can deal with each other and what we can do and what we want, and I can see the excitement in everybody, and I really love seeing the excitement in everybody in the community and everybody that came with us to ETH Denver, and I don't know, it's been an emotional time for me, especially with January and the backing that I got from everybody during that time, and not just that time, but the backing that I got from everybody after the time, the backing that I still get from everybody really helps me, and it really helps the entire team, and you guys really are the reason that everybody is as motivated as they are right now. I don't know if Flu still wants to say something.
I offered to let Blurry and Droid come in here to be on camera. They did not want to be on camera. I tried.
I can see them though. I can see them.
Yeah, we see them. We know them. But I just wanted to give a shout out to them and thank them for all their hard work as well. Droid less so, but definitely Blurry though. Blurry's great. Love y'all. Have a good night.
Have a good night.